Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, coming live once again from the beautiful city of Hamilton, New Zealand. I have a feeling I'm beginning to sound more and more like one of those guys who sells something or the other on late night television. Hopefully, I'm not sounding like some of those people who come on those TVCs and other some of those online shopping channels that come on late night television. But hey, look, I enjoy sitting here and talking to all of you, and that is why I think there's a little bit of joy de vivre in my heart, and that's why my enthusiasm leaps out a little bit sometimes, even though it is a very tiring Monday, guys. I must actually negotiate with my team and see if I can do my live sessions on some other day, because Mondays are hectic. First and foremost, you're kind of coming out of your beautiful weekend mode, and you're still caught up in all that laziness and stuff, and that you've got to jump right into the middle of work. And yeah, so Mondays are always a bit crazy. So I might negotiate with my team and see if I can do some other day. But jokes apart, it's been a bit of a hectic weekend for me because I went to Auckland on Saturday again. I was invited to be part of the India New Zealand one day cricket match. And one of the institutions we represent, called New Zealand School of Education, or called as NZSE, and with whom we've had a very, very long standing relationship in the private sector. So, the director of the school, one Mr. Brijesh, and I, we've been friends for quite some time now. So yeah, he called me for coming to the. So they had hired a corporate box, and excuse me, guys. Some of my, as you can see, some of my cough is also back. So yeah, he invited me to be part of the corporate box at Eden Park, Auckland. So I took up the offer and I said, "That's very nice of Brijesh and his team to invite me to be present at Eden Park." So I drove from Hamilton and went there, and it was lovely to be there. It's beautiful because when you're in the corporate box at Eden Park, you're looking right down onto the ground, and so it's like the view is like that, and you feel like you're watching gladiators in the arena. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to die on live Facebook and YouTube. I'm just having a bit of an irritation in my throat. So yeah, it was beautiful to be there, and there were also some VIPs who were present there. So I'm gonna just rest my throat for a moment. Whew. Yeah, so there were some members of parliament present from the local Auckland, electorates. It was good to meet them and introduce myself and have a bit of a chat and banter. And the members of parliament here are very chilled out, by the way. I mean, they are just like anybody else you'd meet, and you just end up having a good chat and a banter. So that's what happened. Yeah, it was good to do a bit of networking. I sat down there and I watched the New Zealand innings. Great knock again by Ross Taylor, and then of course I sat down for the first 15 overs of the Indian innings. Then I drove back to Hamilton because I didn't want to be too late coming back home. So that was my Sunday, and so cricket seems to be pretty much on the agenda because I'm off to Tauranga tomorrow with my colleagues Anjana and Nicholas, and we're going to be there present at the last one-day match between India and New Zealand, and it's been a great series. Very close, I thought, in the T20s in terms of, although it was a whitewash by India and they beat New Zealand 5-0 but I thought at least three of the matches were, quite close, and two of them went into super over, which was quite interesting as a phenomenon. Anyway, so that was my weekend. I hope all of you had a good weekend, and I'm waiting for people to start asking their questions. I can see a lot of my team members have joined in. Just a little bit about Team AJV. We are now almost 40 people, and we are six people here in New Zealand. So just today, one more of our ex-students called Rina. She has joined the team here full time in New Zealand, and Rina is going to be taking care of our customer service, and she will also hopefully join the course to get her license. That's my license, which I normally show everybody at the start of the session. So we hope to make another licensed immigration advisor out of Rina as well, and have licensed advisors in each and every city across New Zealand, so that we can serve our students and clients who come from different parts of the world to come to New Zealand, and you guys and girls can continue to receive good advice. So today was Rina's first day at work, so I dropped in and welcomed her on board. While I was there, I met one of our students called Hiren, who had just come to study in Hamilton. Today was his first day at college, and his college is right next to the office where we guys sit and work. So yeah, Hiren was there, and Hiren and I, we've been exchanging a lot of messages on Facebook and elsewhere. So it was lovely to meet him in person, and we were all there. The whole AJV team was there, and I told him, buddy, don't worry. Look at all of us. That's going to be your family now in New Zealand. So not to worry. So that's the kind of support and service we like to give our students who come from different parts of the world. So warm welcome to all of you who are watching this broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram through my trusted phone. So yeah, we just wanted to let you know that AJV is very committed to all of you, and we will continue to work with you, unlike a lot of other companies, even after you come to New Zealand, because we know that your real challenges will start after you come to New Zealand. So yeah, and one of my first comments is from Ankit Wagela, who is, hey Ankit, kia ora, buddy, Kete Pefia Koi. Hope things are going well. And Ankit is one of our students from Wellington, and I had the opportunity of going there and meeting him and the rest of our beautiful AJV students and Fano in Wellington. We had a lovely evening, had some food to eat and a good catch up. And so Ankit says, I agree. That's, I think, in response to my comment that I met a couple of members of parliament while I was in Auckland. Ankit says, I agree, not just the members of parliament, but ministers as well. That's true. I agree with that as well, Ankit. Had a chance to meet with Chris Hopkins, Paula Bennett, and Chris Fafoy in last 2 months. Pretty chilled out and down to earth. So Chris is our Minister of Education. Paula is, I'm trying to remember what Paula is, but Chris Fafoy represents our Pacific community and is, I think, Associate Minister for Immigration, if I'm not mistaken. Chris, plus he also holds some other portfolios. Paula, I'm just beats my memory right now, but yeah, they're all ministers as well. And as Ankit says, because Ankit is based in Wellington, I bet he's been running into them at some place or the other. And yeah, it's a very chilled out society, very cool, and it's the kind of country that you would want to live. So if you guys are planning to come to look out for a good country to create a future, then yeah, you should consider coming to New Zealand, because we are pretty high up on various parameters. So so for some people, so Chandra Bhattarai says, hello, namaste. Hi, Chandra, namaste. So, when people are planning to go overseas and they are looking at deciding on which country to go, a lot of them go by word of mouth and they decide to go to a place or a country where their friends or relatives have gone before. But I think in today's age of information technology, where information is practically at our fingertips, I think it's important that you guys and girls do your own research a little bit, because sometimes what happens is when you do not research properly, you might end up going to the wrong destination. And which is where we as a company are having very ardently and quite passionately promoting New Zealand as a destination. And I know for a fact that New Zealand is probably number five in the list of countries that students desire, or migrants desire to go overseas. And there are other larger destinations that people choose to go to. But why we do it so diligently and we do it so passionately is because we believe that New Zealand is an equally good, if not a better destination than any other country. Yes, we have our weaknesses. We don't have a large enough population, which means that our economy obviously will not have the same spending power as some of the larger economies. So, but that's exactly what the government is trying to address through the proactive migration policy, is to grow the population of this country. We've already hit 5.5 million, and there was a very noted economist who's been saying that New Zealand has the ability to take in almost up to 20 million people, and population can grow up to 20 million. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but the fact of the matter is that immigration will play a very key role in New Zealand's future as a country, as a society, as a nation. And more and more people will start looking at New Zealand seriously, and which is what I'm encouraging all of you to do, is to do your research. Go to all the different parameters on which countries are judged upon, and what are they judged upon? Is they judged upon quality of life, education, health services, security, social interactions, law and order, all those kinds of parameters. And there is a beautiful comparison on done through an organization called the Legatum Institute. So the Legatum Institute, just go to Google and type prosperity index. So the Legatum Institute, which is an independent organization and quite reputed as an organization, what it does is it does the analysis and comparisons between all these countries on an yearly basis on all these various parameters, like social things, and the security and safety and health and education and ease of doing business and all those kinds of things. And New Zealand is absolutely number one from the English speaking countries. So the only other countries which are ahead of New Zealand, on top of above New Zealand, are the non-English speaking countries from Scandinavia, like Finland and Denmark and Norway, and those kinds of countries are there in that particular list. But it is very heartening for us as a company that is based in New Zealand, and we ardently promote New Zealand, to see that in the English speaking world, as per the Legatum Prosperity Index, New Zealand is number one. And that's the passion with which we promote New Zealand, because we strongly believe it is a fantastic destination. There are also further very good destinations as well, but when you combine all these different factors, as done by this independent agency, New Zealand does come across as being a very, very good destination. And so that's the reason we guys are, very passionate about promoting New Zealand. So in the meantime, okay, Ankit has given me an input saying Paula is our former deputy prime minister. Okay, thanks for that, Ankit. So anyhow, moving on, I hope we're getting some questions today. And the first question is from Santosh Nair. Hey guys, the rules of the live session are pretty simple. You've got to either identify that you are an AJV student or client, or you need to share your contact number so that we can get in touch with you during this live session or after this live session, and we can continue to engage you in our conversation and put all the information in front of you. And based on that, you guys can take a decision whether you want to consider coming to New Zealand or not. But if you're a really good person, we would encourage you to consider New Zealand. So anyhow, Santosh Nair says, hi, I had sent an email after a message inquiring the details about a week ago, but no response yet. Hey, Santosh, I'm not sure where you sent your email, but team, if you're watching this and you're listening, Okay, right. So, Santosh, I just got I just got a feedback from my colleague Mubaraka, who is based in Mumbai. That your lead. Bear in mind, Santosh, we had the weekend and we all just got back to working on Monday, and which is why I'm a little sluggish, maybe. But yeah, it's just been allocated, Santosh, to one of my colleagues called Mubaraka, who will call you and say hello to you very soon. And she says she got the lead only about an hour ago, and she will call you and speak to you immediately after this live session is over. Okay? Or just to see how well this whole system works, Mubaraka, perhaps you can give him a call right now and say hi to him even while this live session is happening. It will be a good example to all our clients, future prospects, and our clients to see how well it works. I can't make out from Santosh's remarks which part of the world he is in, but I'm thinking he's based in India. And from his surname, I'm thinking he's probably based in Kerala. Mubaraka is based in Mumbai, and I'm talking to you from Hamilton in New Zealand. Let's see how well this entire system and structure works that we set up so that we can reach out to you and start giving you good information and advice. So, Mubaraka, pick up the phone and say hi to Santosh. And Santosh, once you've done speaking to Mubaraka, you come back and type your comments and see what's the information you received. All right. And if you still need have any queries after you speak to Mubaraka, please post your question and I'll happily answer that. All right, Santosh. So let's see how technology works today for all of us. Cool. Moving on. Sorry, guys, you'll have to excuse me keeping on clearing my throat. Well, it's just one of those days when my throat is going bad. So I have my usual mug with my alphabet on it. I very proudly carry a lot of things that have the alphabet A on me. A little childish, maybe, but hey, look, I like it. So, and then that's my other cup I'm going to use today. And this was my memento cup from the last one day international here at Seddon Park, Hamilton, where which New Zealand won. So I got back this cup as a memento of uh, New Zealand finally winning something. So it's a beer mug, but I only have water in it. So I'm going to be sober, I promise. Next question. Jofin Babu says, Dear Arun, I'm your client and I reached here in Auckland today. Class will begin next week. I'm in touch with Grace and Anjana. Hey, Jofin, warm welcome to New Zealand. It is warm because it is still summer. So you've come at the right time because you will enjoy those nice, long, sunny days. But a very warm welcome to you from myself and everybody else in Team AJB. Thank you for choosing to work with AJB, and you're now successfully reached New Zealand and you're in Auckland. So I hope you had a good flight. I hope your jet lag is over, and I hope you will enjoy this week and settle down and then start attending your classes from next week. I'm glad you're still in touch with your visa officer in India, Grace, and you're also in touch with our onshore coordinator, Anjana, whose only job is to ensure that when new AJV clients come in, they are spoken to and welcomed, and ensure that there are no issues in terms of settling down for all you guys and girls. So thank you so much, Jofen, for choosing to be an AJV client, and I promise you, you will have a good experience here in New Zealand as well, and continue to stay in touch with us for anything that you require. You already have Anjana's number, and hopefully in the next 5 to 6 months, we plan to set up an office in Auckland as well. And we are actually already training a person to take on the role of of heading that particular office. And your next comment is a big thanks for all the support and guidance from your team, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Absolutely, Joffen. We are already. I remember I was at office and. Mary and the team were already planning a get together in Auckland soon, because a lot of you have arrived or still arriving for the February intake. And yeah, so which means it is time for AJB to host another big party of welcome to all our students. We will get together, we will eat some food, have a a lovely time of networking with each other, get to know each other, make some friends, and I'll be there as well, and I look forward to meeting you. Okay, so that's something we go around and do in every city where our students are there. And sometimes I've gone to a city, even if there was just one student of AJB, I would go there and meet them and say hello to them. So yeah, look forward to meeting you soon, Joffen, and have fun, settle down, enjoy New Zealand, and stay in touch with Anjana for any support you require. Okay, cool. Right. So next question is from Nirosh Amarasinghe, and Nirosh is also one of our student. Right. So what Nirosh says, hi Arun, this 12th is my orientation. I have got the AIP on February 4th. On 5th itself, I sent ANZ the documents to open an account for funds transfer. Not yet being open. Whole thing is delaying. Happy working with you, AGB. I've got, okay. Wish me at least I would land on 16th though. It seems I will miss the orientation on 12th. Is there any advantage of having an international license? As you said, I can drive. Oh, you have a lot of questions, Niro. So I'll skip some of these questions because some of this can be answered after you land here. You don't need to have an international license. I can tell you that because normally, if you have a valid license from your country, you will be able to drive in New Zealand for 1 year. But then you will need to then convert it into a New Zealand license. And then and you've gone through our welcome guide, which is fantastic, and you say it is good, fantastic. I'm glad, Niroj, that you're reading it because a lot of our students don't read the welcome guide, and I get pretty cross about that because we put in a lot of effort to write that welcome guide, and I'm glad, Niroj, that you went through that, and you say it's a superb job done by AJV. Thank you so much for that. It contains almost everything, and you come on East, a lot of effort invested there by you all. Thanks, Nirosh, for all that. Yeah, absolutely. As I keep saying in each and every session of mine, this company is built on the experiences of migrants like myself, or Mary, or Virginia, or Anjana, or Nicholas, or so many of our colleagues who work out of India, who are all ex-immigration officers and licensed advisors. So between all of us, we, I think, have a very clear and good understanding of what are all the challenges that a migrant will face. And by migrant, I mean both permanent, those coming for residency or coming to studies. You're all migrants, whether it is a temporary migrant or a permanent migrant. So we understand these challenges, and that's the reason we are structuring our information, advice, and services in such a way, Nirosh, that we are able to. In fact, just because you referred to ANZ, last week I also went to Auckland and met the senior manager of ANZ who takes care of these FTS accounts, and I connected her to our senior managers, and I think they are now established that communication chain so that if there is a problem, they can talk to each other and sort it out. So don't worry too much. I know you're probably going to miss your orientation, which is a bit of a pity, but I'm quite certain you should be able to come here on time to join your classes and get started. All right. But thanks for all the feedback, Nirosh, and I look forward to seeing you here soon. You'll join some more of our wonderful Sri Lankan clients who are already here in New Zealand, and look forward to seeing you soon and saying Aibawan in person. All right, cool. Okay. Do Chandra Bhattarai says, I completed my plus two in 2013, but I want to continue my education. Is there any possibilities regarding my education gap till now? Hey, Chandra, people can have gaps for various reasons. Uh, I had a gap of what I last did. So I had a very, very long gap, almost 20 years before I went back and did my graduate certificate in New Zealand immigration advice, which is what allowed me to get my license to practice as a licensed immigration advisor. But yeah, gaps are fine. There's no real problem as such with the gap. But what have you done after that? And I think what a visa officer assessing your application is more interested in seeing, are you a genuine student? It's not so you had a gap, so that's it. That's the fact. But what have you done during that gap period? Have you worked? Have you been picking up some experience? Have you done something else? So we will need to assess that. And once we assess that, is when we can tell you whether you are somebody who can have a reasonably successful attempt at applying for a student visa. But like I said, gaps are not a problem. We work with a lot of clients who've had big, massive gaps. One of my clients was 50 plus, and she had not been in a classroom for more than 25 years, but she came as a student and finished a course, found a job, and she and her family are now settled here in New Zealand. So gaps really are not a problem. But you haven't shared your number, Chandra. So I would really like it. Yeah, so I would really like it if you can share your number, because you have not shared your number. If you share your number, then one of our team members will get in touch with you, closest to you. Our team is spread across New Zealand, India, Malaysia, Qatar, and UK. So whichever advisor is closest to you, we will get in touch with you, get more information from you about your background, and understand why there was a gap, and examine it from a technical and professional perspective to see whether it would create a problem for your visa. And if we believe that you don't have a reasonable chance of success in getting a visa, we will be honest and tell you and say, hey, look, I don't think this is something you should attempt. It'll just make you lose your time, money, and effort. But if we think that, yeah, it's a reasonable case and we can present it and fight it out, absolutely, we will guide you about it. So don't worry about your gap. Share your number and get in touch with us. All right, cool. Prasad has also asked me a question, but again, no her number. So do I skip it, or do I just go and do I go? Okay, well, there aren't a lot of questions today. So what I'll do is I will answer these questions. Hi, sir. Wanted to check about the environmental job profile in New Zealand and the demand. So, Prasad, there is, I think, environment is the new buzzword with climate change and everything else that's happening around us in the world. I think all countries are getting geared up to take care of their environments, and so is New Zealand. Also, because we have a very unique environment here in New Zealand, we are flora and fauna as absolutely out of this world in the truest sense, because the creatures you find here, the vegetation you find here, you will not find anywhere else on earth. And I think largely also because during the big continental drift, New Zealand drifted away before a lot of other species evolved. So because of that reason, we also don't have snakes here or any um, poisonous creatures. I think there's just one spider, but nobody really gets bitten by it. We don't even know where it is. But that's the reason a lot of birds in New Zealand stopped flying, because there were no predators, and that's the reason the kiwi bird doesn't fly, because there were no natural predators here in New Zealand before humans started coming, and they started bringing their pets like cats and dogs and what have you, and that's when it started creating a little bit of an environmental issue. So yeah, there are there is a very good scope to look at environmental opportunities in New Zealand, because, as I told you, we have an extremely unique environment here, and we will constantly keep requiring professionals in this field to help us to continue to this beautiful environment. So yeah, if you haven't shared your number, Prasad, so please share your number, and then we'll get you more details and also connect you to people here in New Zealand who can give you first-hand information, because they are working in that particular field. All right. So yeah, it'll be good if you can share your number. Shinoj Abraham asks, quickly gonna check if my team has sent me any feedback. And right, Mubaraka says she has spoken to Santosh, and he asked her to call after 5 p.m. IST. So yeah, that's cool. Well done, Mubaraka. Just to show that we are probably one of the fastest to respond. to queries when people ask us any questions about New Zealand. So yeah, I think overall we're doing very well. We get some good feedback. If you, I'd request you guys and girls to go to our Facebook group and Facebook page, which is where I think some of you are seeing me right now. And you can see the feedback, and this is honest, genuine feedback because we didn't coax them to give us this feedback, but the feedback has been pretty good. Obviously, there are a couple of people who are not very happy about the kind of service or information we provided, and there's always the unfortunately we can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. So yeah, that's always there. But by and large, our clients I think are happy at our response times, the information we provide, the kind of and I'm quite elated at the kind of feedback I get about the effort that each and every member of AJB is putting in towards each client. And I truly touched by the effort that my wonderful team puts in towards all you young people and not so young people who are desirous of coming to New Zealand. So yeah, I appreciate it. So, but hey, look, if you guys are looking for a good, honest, genuine, simple, straightforward, friendly, frank company to help you realize your New Zealand dreams, talk to us. We will take care. How do you talk to us? You talk to us by giving us a call or sending us an email on these numbers and these email IDs. So we have a toll-free number in India and we have a toll-free number in New Zealand. You can call any one of those numbers and have a chat with one of our team member, or just flick us your email on either one of those email addresses, and we will get back to you. All right, cool. Shinoj Abraham asks food innovation job scope in New Zealand. Very good, Shinoj. So food technology is one of our long-term skill shortage subjects. And just before I got onto this live session, I was speaking to somebody called Radhika on another platform, and she was sharing her background, and she had a fantastic background, and she had a very interesting mix of food technology as well as environmental science. And I was telling her, we will absolutely value you here in New Zealand, and we would love to have you here in New Zealand because food technology is got very good scope, and so does environmental science. And but food technology also because we have a massive dairy industry here in New Zealand. We have a big wine industry in New Zealand. We have a lot of exports of fish and beef and poultry and various other meats. So the food industry and fruits and vegetables, there's like so much of produce coming out of New Zealand. So the food industry is massive here, and a lot of it is export oriented, because of which we need food technologists to be able to work with these organizations and ensure that the New Zealand food is certified as global standards. So yeah, absolutely good scope, and I can think of at least half a dozen of my ex students and clients who have done a course in food technology and then got on to get very good careers in food technology and got their residency as well. So yeah, perfect. But Shinoj, you haven't shared your phone number. I know some of you guys are probably already speaking to some other agencies, and you are kind of thinking, oh, but I'm already working with XYZ. So how can I change now and go to AJV? No problem, guys. If you think that working with AJV gives you a better chance, and it certainly will, because we are present here in New Zealand. There are already two licensed advisors here in New Zealand. There's another couple who are going to get added here in New Zealand. There are two advisors already, three advisors outside New Zealand who are part of the AJV team. Just go to ajvglobal.com and click on our team, details, and you will see the number of licensed advisors we have, and ex-visa officers, and the rest of the team, which is all thoroughbred professionals. And you'll see that you will have your best chance of success in New Zealand through AJV. So just because you've started your process with somebody doesn't mean those guys own you, right? You are a free person who can choose your own destiny. And I mean, look at me, I'm here sitting right now in Hamilton and talking to you about the reality, the ground realities here in New Zealand. So if you want to have that kind of advantage by your side, you'll have to get off the wall and not just come and ask us questions, but make up your mind and work with AJB so that your future here in New Zealand is taken care of by a set of professionals. All right, cool. Okay, okay. Man, this is tiring work, and on a Monday, this is very unfair. Oh well, somebody has to work to feed the kids, I guess. Divyanshu Saxena. Okay, long query. Hi Arun, I'm an international student at the University of Waikato studying Masters of Digital Business. I'm just left with one paper, which is the online paper for completing my credits. This paper can be done from my home country as confirmed by the education provider. I want to travel to India from Feb till first week of June due to non-avoidable family commitment. I would like to ensure that my travel back to home country in such a scenario will not impact the post-study visa request. The university has confirmed to me that there are no constraints from their side. However, I would like to reconfirm with the immigration that this will not impact my post-study work visa request. Okay, look, Divyanshu, I don't think you are an AGV student because if you were an AGV student, we would have met by now, and we certainly so. You could have, if you were an AGV student, you could have walked into our office and either myself or Mary or one of us, we would have researched your entire background and your how many days you're going to go out of New Zealand and all the stuff, and we could have actually checked the law and told you exactly what you could have done. But because you're not an AGV student, unfortunately, I think the best thing for you to do would be to contact immigration department, give them a call on their call center, uh, and talk to them. But if you want some paid advice, normally we give this advice free of cost to all AGB students, and that's the one of the advantages that our students have. A lot of our students are actually at the University of Waikato, and I come there quite often myself. So anyhow, if you want paid advice from AGB, please come to our office. We are situated at 426 Victoria Street, which is the Westpac building. As you know, we are on the ground floor. Um, but if you don't want to pay money to get our advice, then I would recommend to speak to the immigration department. Get on the phone. There could be a bit of a waiting because their call centers are pretty, for jammed most of the times. Give them a call. Speak to them because it's a situation that requires a little bit of analysis, and we would have loved to do it. But like I said, since you're not an AGV student, if you want to pay some money and get that advice, please feel free to walk in, and we would love to help you. All right? Okay. I hope you're enjoying your course, by the way. Radio. Radhika B says, hello, Jacob, sir. Hi, Radhika. I wonder if this is the same Radhika I was speaking about. Yeah. Oh, okay. She's written something else. Yeah, it is. I remember the last name. Hi, Radhika, but hope you're doing well. And yeah, we had a good interaction over LinkedIn, and I hope you've already connected with Neha, my colleague, because, like I said, you have this beautiful dual background of environmental science as well as food technology. But I'd say keep food technology just a little ahead at this point in time because it has been proven to be very, very strong in terms of creating careers and finding jobs and future residency. And keep environmental science as your backup. And like I told you, strongly recommend Lincoln University because it's got great departments in both these subjects. Go for it, and yeah, it'll be awesome to see you here in New Zealand soon, Radhika. And please talk to Neha. She's a fantastic advisor, and she's got great, great knowledge about all the possible courses you could do here. Okay, excellent. Right, I am checking to see if there is any email from, sorry, so any messages back from my team. Okay, Sajita, you have given me the email from Radhika, and I actually was interacting with her on LinkedIn, and so I have already taken her contact details and connected to Neha. So that's for your information, Sajita. But thanks for sharing. She pasted exactly the same queries to me on LinkedIn as well, and so Radhika is definitely somebody very keen to come to New Zealand because she's pretty much checking us out on all the online platforms possible, LinkedIn and now Facebook. Appreciate your commitment, Radhika. That's the way it has to be done. And many congratulations. You also mentioned that you had were selected for a scholarship in New Zealand, but you couldn't make it at the time. But hey, look, all the very best. Make that investment of the fee and time and effort to come to New Zealand. Somebody with your background, I think you will do really well here, and you will recover that investment you're making, whether it is time, money, time, or effort. I think you will recover it very quickly. So all the best, Radhika, and we look forward to working with you. We love working with um, brilliant students like you who can go on to make New Zealand a better place. So yeah, please do come to New Zealand and only through AJV. Promise me that. High five. Cool. Moving on. Okay, Chandra Bhattarai has shared this number. Thank you, Chandra. Really appreciate that. It shows your commitment to work with a good company like AGV, which is very nice of you. Yeah, that's all we ask you guys and girls, who come and listen into my live sessions. And I think I'm, pretty saintly in that sense that I give away a lot of free information and advice. Of course, it is a marketing effort for us as well because we want to getting a lot more interest. And I'm sure, I think we are coming across to a lot of you as people who understand first and foremost what we are talking about New Zealand. And I think we do come across as people who empathize with you and your situations because we are also fellow migrants. And more than anything else, we are just in your face, friendly and frank, and we will never ever give wrong advice. So yeah, spread the word, share these videos and live sessions with your family and friends, and let them know that there is this company called AJV. I'm not wearing my t-shirt today. It was such a hectic Monday that I didn't even have time to put on my normal black t-shirt with that beautiful AJV logo, but there is one right there, so you guys can share it. So yeah, we are here to help all deserving people who are looking for a good future and a great country. Talk to us. We will take care of you. All right. Cool. Right, Shamal Parek, another one of our fantastic AJV clients, says, Hi, Arun and AJV Fano, which is the word for family in our Maori language here. Guys, Auckland is awesome city to live in. Don't know what they can just apply. Well said, Shamal. Absolutely correct. Sometimes I think going overseas, we also tend to overprocess a little bit and overthink a little bit. But you don't have to if your money is in place and your academics are in place and your interest is in place. Don't overprocess it. Say Shamal is somebody who probably also thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and now that he's landed in Auckland, he's saying, "Don't think about it, just do it." So yeah, maybe you guys should all start, and girls must start buying Nike shoes so that you'll just do it. Okay, okay, that was a bad joke. Anyway, cool. Thanks, Shamal, for your endorsement, and look forward to meeting you again soon. Yeah, cool. Right. So there is uh, a comment from Prashant Kirsor who says, Hello, Arun. I'm AJV student and should be in Rotorua next week. Fantastic, Prashant. Warm welcome to New Zealand and to Rotorua. I have received my AIP and yet to get my e-visa. Does AJV have any tie-up with Toi or Homai with regard to accommodation? Well, we do not have a tie-up with Toi or Homai, so to speak, Prashant. But what you can do is, if you received your welcome guide, which you should have received by now, if you got your AIP already, I recommend you get in touch with Anjana, who is our onshore coordinator. If you want Anjana's contact details, just go to the AJV Global website and you will find her details there. Send her an email, connect with her, or connect with her on WhatsApp and say, hey, look, I'm looking for. I do believe Toyo Homoi provides you the airport pickup from the airport to take you to Rotorua, from Auckland Airport to Rotorua, unless you've booked a fly also from Auckland to Rotorua, which isn't, I think it's about 2.5 hours drive from Auckland to Rotorua. And Hamilton is like halfway through, but I don't think you'll take the road which goes through Hamilton. There's another road from the north which skips Hamilton and goes to Rotorua. But you know what? For your accommodation thing, check with Anjana and she will cross check with Toy to see if they're doing anything about it. If they're not, she will hook you up with some of our students who are already there, and you should be able to get temporary accommodation for a week or 10 days. And while you're there, you will definitely make friends in your college. And the common thing here in New Zealand is for international students to start finding friends after they land here, and they end up doing something called flatting, which is just another word here we use in New Zealand for sharing an apartment or a flat. So yeah, I bet you will end up with flatting. But you know what? I'll come and see you soon there, Prashant. Once you reach here, I have some good friends in Toyo Homoi. And so we are also doing some special projects for them now. Toyo Homoi likes the kind of work we are doing on our Facebook, YouTube, and so we also end up doing some special projects sometimes. So yeah, certainly I will come and catch you. All right, cool. Prasad has also shared this number. Thank you, Prasad. Really appreciate that. And like I said, we selflessly give out information and advice from our side, and what we want in return is to get your contact details so that we can engage and talk to you. And hopefully, listening to my live session and the live sessions of my colleagues, you guys will understand and realize that AJV and its team members are very genuine and the kind of information and advice we are providing. So thank you for sharing your number, because going overseas and investing so much money, time, and effort is a life changing decision. And you need to speak to the right people. And I see so many, I say hundreds and hundreds of young people who land here as international students, and their agents have disappeared. Those companies have disappeared. They will not talk to you once you land here in New Zealand. They will not care about what's happening to you in New Zealand. There is nobody to give you immigration advice. There's nobody to help you to network for employment. There is nobody to help you with accommodation and stuff like that, which are all the things that we are trying to address and fill those gaps and provide. So thank you, Prasad, and everybody else who's sharing your number, because this is very, very important for you guys to have good conversations. It's a life-changing moment. If you're already working with somebody else, doesn't matter. It's not about their profit. It's about your future. So you speak to us, and we will put your future ahead of our profits and ensure that you're happy and we are also happy as a company. And in case you guys and girls want to get in touch with us, that's how you do it. That's the contact details of Team AJB. Or you can quite simply, I probably end up looking like a convict about to go to jail now every time I hold it up. So the other way of connecting with us is quite simply, because you're already on Facebook, just send me an inbox message, and we will get back to you. All right, cool. Next question, and I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, my coughing has settled down, guys. See, I have a bit of a cold. That's the problem. I think I ate too much, so the reflux starts again. Srikant Krishnamurthy. Hey Arun, I'm Xavier. Thank you. I like that term. It's a new term that our team has introduced called AJVians. All our students henceforth and the team are going to be called AJVians. Hey Arun, I'm AJVian student for July intake. Can you please update if student visa is given priority for university than ITP? Could admission for SIT take maximum visa time due to remote location of college? Okay, good question. I think the immigration department does tend to give a little bit of weightage to university applications, I think, although they are not supposed to, because they're supposed to treat all applications equally. But I think they do tend to give a little bit of extra weightage. But SIT is also a government institution, so you have as much right as any other student to demand your processing on time. So I don't think the location of it's not a remote location. Invercargill is, of course, at the one of our southernmost cities, but the location of the college is never a problem, and so I don't think that'll be a problem. In fact, the location of the college might actually be work in your favor, Srikant, because one of the agendas for the Immigration Department of New Zealand is also to ensure that all international students and all migrants don't end up only in Auckland or only in Wellington or only in Christchurch or only the major centers or Hamilton. So I think they also will have an internal agenda to try and spread the international students across New Zealand, because we also have shortages of workers in our regional areas, including in Southland, which is where Invercargill and SIT is based. So actually, it might work in your favor that you are going to a location which is not one of these top cities. And so, yeah, fingers crossed. And like I said, you're coming for the July intake. We have plenty of time for that. Srikant, don't stress too much, and we will ensure that we are taking good care of your application. And hey, you know what? The other thing that AJB does is we are also very good at presenting our cases in something we call as a decision-ready application format, which means that all a visa officer has to do is to kind of flick through it and say, "Yep, that's there, that's there, that's there. Okay, there it is, there it is, there it is, all done," and we write a fantastic cover letter, put it connecting all the dots for you, and send it across. And hopefully, visa officer will say, "Yeah, AJB has done all the work that I was supposed to do." Do a quick verification. If any doubts, quickly call and verify your loan is in place, so on and so forth. But otherwise, our applications are, all decision ready files, and rarely ever we have a problem with our applications. Okay, we have a fantastic team in India headed by a very senior ex-immigration officer called Tanuva, who worked with the Immigration Department of New Zealand for 22 years. So Tanuva is our country manager in India, and in her team, she's got about 4 or 5 ex-immigration officers, and out of which 2 of them are already licensed advisors. And then we have a beautiful team of other people, including our advisors and our process officers who are all extremely well trained in the processes. And like I said, just go to our Facebook page or our group and look at the feedback that some of our clients are giving very genuinely, and you will see that AJV walks the talk and will ensure that your application is put forward in the right way. Okay. Janak Singh Brahmbat says looking for immigration. Hey Janak, happy to help you, mate. So what you got to do is if you're looking for immigration, share us your number, because once we have your number, we can initiate that contact. If you want to call, if you don't want to spend any money on calling us, if you're based in India, you can call us on that toll-free number there and give us a call, and you will get connected to one of our advisors, and he or she will collect the initial information if you're interested in migration to New Zealand. And yeah, one of our licensed advisors then will do an assessment to see that whether you're qualifying or not. If you're qualifying, great. We will then advise you as to what are the next steps and the costs involved and the time frames involved. If you're not qualifying, then we'll give you some other pathways, and then of course you can have a discussion with your family and decide whether you want to do it or not. So that's the way we guys work. So we need to be able to speak to you. So give us your contact number, or you give us a call yourself on those toll-free numbers, and we will pick it up from there and make your New Zealand dreams come true. Okay. Radio. Okay, so there is a question from Varsha, which has been posted to me by my colleague Sajita. And so the question from Varsha is, hello, sir, what is the scope of Masters in Digital Business from Waikato University? I talked with Ms. Sajita, but need more clarity as we are investing so much money. I need to be very clear. Hey, Varsha, I appreciate what you're saying. Of course, it is a big decision, and you need to do your research. And since you're asking me, and so Sajita's team leader, will also be a licensed immigration advisor like me. So if I'm going to answer your question, but if you still want to have a slightly more senior level discussion, please ask Sajita to connect you to her team leader, who is an ex-immigration officer as well as licensed advisor, and she will also be able to give you the same advice that probably I'm going to give. But the course, the master's in itself is a good level to choose because it'll give you a 3 years post-study work visa. Digital business kind of it straddles both IT as well as business environment. And you've got to bear in mind that New Zealand is a country that is far flung in the South Pacific, and a lot of our economy depends on exporting our goods and services. And which means that for us to physically connect with the rest of the world, like how I'm doing right now, I'm basically, aren't we not doing digital business right now? I'm on Facebook and YouTube and connecting with all of you and providing information about New Zealand and the services that AJB provides. So the scope for digital business in New Zealand is very high, also because of our geographic location and by virtue of the fact that we are an island nation and we are not connected geographically and physically to a lot of other countries. So digital business, and you're coming to one of the best universities in New Zealand, which and the business school in Waikato is rated very, very high. And I have so much. I keep telling my team, in half in jest, but in half seriously as well, that if I'm able to get a break, I would actually go to University of Waikato and do a course like this, Masters in Digital Business, because a lot of AJV work is also happening through digital means. So it will be good for me as the CEO to also get a better understanding. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't find the time after I finish wearing my cap as a CEO and dad and husband and what have you. I have little time, but hopefully someday I'll do it myself. But very good course. I can give you my word that you're coming to one of the best countries, one of the best cities, one of the best universities, and coming into one of the best courses as well. I do believe you will have a very bright future. All right, Varsha. If you need further clarification, please speak to Sajita's team leader, and we are more than happy to give you as much information you want, because we understand you'll have a lot of apprehensions in your mind. But like how Shamal said, one of our students who's already here, don't overprocess it. Just come and things will fall into place, okay? Because somebody who is a master's student is already coming with those inherent qualities of good knowledge, attitude, and skills. And what this course will do is just embellish you further and then give you a 3 years post-study work visa. And then you have team AJV to support you and put you in the right direction as well. All right. So all the best, best Varsha, and I hope to meet you here in Hamilton. So go. Right. Next question. Moving on. Osai says, hi, how are you? Doing very well. Osai could not have been better. Radhika says, yes, sure, sure. Thanks, Radhika. Yeah, it was been lovely to interact with you today on different platforms. Okay, so Osai also says, please, I would like for your office to apply for masters. Hey, Osai, we would love to help you. I'm thinking you must be from the African continent. And we have been working with quite a lot of clients from the African continent. And yeah, sure, a bulk of our team is based in India, guys. But AJV is a New Zealand company owned by a New Zealander. And we are catering to all nationalities from everywhere across the world. And we have been privileged to work with people from practically well, 15 or 20 different countries. And we work with quite a few uh, prospects and students and migrants from Africa as well. So we would be happy to work with you. Also, just share your contact number, and one of our team will get in touch with you and help you with what masters you're looking for and which subject, and we will take it forward from there. All right, cool. Kenny Smith says, how can I get transit visa? Well, you will have to apply for it, of course, but depends. You may not require a transit visa if you're from some particular country. So that's I'm not sure what your background is, Kenny. So you might want to get in touch with our office. Send some details to this particular email address to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com, and one of our licensed advisors will get in touch with you, assess your case, and tell you whether you require a transit visa or not. And if you do require a transit visa, and if you want AJV to apply it on your behalf, we can also advise you how much it will cost you and everything else. Right. Shamal says, please bring AJV t-shirt or a cap when we meet. Hopefully we can meet before my college starts. Hey, Shamal, I was there on Saturday, mate. I could have actually brought it and given it to you, but I didn't know that. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah. Why don't you call Anjana and ask her to or let me say if somebody is coming to Auckland. I might be coming to Auckland soon. I'll ask Anjana to put some t-shirts and caps into my car, and when I'm coming there, I'll give you a buzz and we can meet up for a coffee somewhere. And yeah, you can grab your AJV t-shirt and your AJV cap, and if you're lucky, you might even get an AJV hoodie, which will come in very handy when winter starts. Oh, you were also at the Eden Park. Oh, I was there at Eden Park. I was, there are two scoreboards in Eden Park, one to the north end and one to the south end. I was towards the south end. I was in one of those corporate boxes where, companies will invite their clients. So I was lucky to be invited by New Zealand School of Education. So I was there and, yeah, and sat down and had a nice chat. If I had known you were there, yeah, and quite a lot of our ATV students were there. In fact, if you go to the group and see all the posts from Dave. I think he was our AJV mascot in the match. So yeah. Hey, but you know what? You have your T-shirt and your cap. You just have to get in touch with Anjana and we'll get it sorted for you. All right, cool. All right. Richo Cherian says, "How am I doing on?" Okay, I think I'm almost coming to the end of my session, and also we're to the end of my questions as well. So, which is good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is there are a couple of questions here, which I'll quickly answer. And my wonderful colleague Jyoti just told me to ring the bell, which means end of the session. So, I might actually just start keeping this here. So, last two questions. Richu Cherian says, "Hello, sir. I'm trying to do a PhD. I'm from India. So is there any leads?" Hi, Richo. We were trying very hard to attract PhD students into New Zealand and we're giving some fantastic benefits. Go to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube and type Arun Jacob and search for a video which says advantages of doing a PhD in New Zealand. I don't know if you're single or married, but there's some very good advantages of doing PhD. We would love to work with you and assist you to get there. So share your number, Richu, and we will be delighted to get in touch with you and initiate the process. But if you want more details, because I'm almost out of time, I don't want to get into a very detailed answer. But go to that video of mine called "Advantages of Doing PhD in New Zealand," and it'll tell you all the advantages you'll have of doing a PhD here. Okay, but great opportunity for you and also for us in New Zealand to attract good researchers. Cool. Shashank Bharti says, "Hey Arun, I'm AJVN. Hi Shashank. I just wanted to ask how important is NZQA rating while choosing the institute? Is it suggested to go for an ITP with NZQA rating 3? And what happens if it is NZQA rating 4? Well, I mean, the rating is important in the sense that they do have their uh, checks and balances, and NZQS rating is pretty full on. So obviously, I'd recommend you to go to an ITP which is 3 as against 4. But again, sometimes those ratings can relate only to domestic students and the way things are being handled about domestic students. So I mean, you have to respect the rating. I'm not saying you can't, but by and large, the thumb rule is that if you are going to an ITP, it is owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. So it is a government institution, which means that government of New Zealand will not let you down. The rating might have gone down, and sometimes, interestingly, some really good ITPs also the rating comes down. But by and large, like I said, they are due to matters which don't really relate to international students. So you don't have to get too apprehensive. But if you think what's better, 3 or 4, obviously 3 is better than 4. Okay, so that will be my suggestion to you, Shisha. Oh, there were some more questions. Okay, Nayan Machale asks, how is NZSE? Fantastic institution, one of the few institutions in the private sector that I would endorse personally. Not because they invited me to a cricket match on Saturday, but I've had a long association with NZSE. I know the founders very well, and I met Brijesh, the founder, on Saturday. And I was complimenting him, saying, I have a lot of personal regard for NZSE and the kind of work. I'm especially very happy about the support they give to their students, especially in employment support. I'm very happy about it, and which is why my team and I, we have absolutely no problems in suggesting NZSE to students. But if you are going to NZSE through some other agency, then you're missing out on the big advantage of working with AJV, because we are present in New Zealand and we can hold your hand and guide you practically at each and every step. So don't lose out on that advantage. Share your number, Nayan, and or just go to AJV and or to our website ajvglobal.com and read through all the testimonials and watch the videos. Go, there is one link which says advantages of being an AJV student or client. Read through that, and if you're smart, you will choose to work with AJV. All right, cool. Okay, Radhika is asking me a question, but Radhika, like I said, get in touch with Neha, because the question you're asking is quite complex, and it's something that I can't get too much into detail right now. But and also, it's way too ahead in the future, Radhika. I think my sincere advice to people is not to stretch that far ahead. What you're thinking of is, can I apply for PR within 2 years in post study work? You can apply for PR anytime. It doesn't have to be within 2 years. If let's say you complete your course and you find a job 3 days after you complete the course, you can, and the required salary is there and the required position is there. Why even 2 years? You can apply the same week, and which is the advantage you will have when you come and come into New Zealand through AJV, Radhika, because you can pick up the phone and, like how you're asking on Facebook right now, instead grab the phone, give us a call, either myself or Mary or Virginia, one of us will be there and we will speak to you and we will guide you, because rules keep changing as well. So what I say today may not be true a year later once you complete your course. So that's the reason we keep saying we're there at each and every step of the way, even if I'm sounding like a TV salesman. So anyhow, thanks guys, as always, girls, as always, watching my live advice sessions. It might sound a little corny if I say live sessions, but no, it's been fantastic as always, like every week, to sit here and dish out my advice to all you wonderful people who want to come to a great country like New Zealand. And if you're really serious, talk to a company like AJV, because we will ensure that we take you on this journey in the right manner, in the most professional manner, and in the most sincere manner. All right. See you later. Good night. Kakite ano. Take care. Bye bye.